What's up, everybody? It's your boy Pierre from the Howard's Adventures.
And Selena.
And today we're coming to you to talk about an issue that we had when we was in Puerto Rico. You want to tell them what that issue was?
Well, the issue was that while we were enjoying our beautiful vacation, the United States attacked Venezuela and it closed the airspace around pretty much Puerto Rico and any other U.S. territories while we were there.
In the Caribbean, the whole Caribbean.
In the Caribbean.
Yeah. Yes, and because of that, we got stuck on the island.
Yes, we were very stuck.
Yes. So the name of this video is going to be
Stranded in Puerto Rico.
Stranded in Puerto Rico. Yes, yes. So we never expected to be on vacation and it turned into a waiting game. But that's exactly what happened to us in Puerto Rico. We came here thinking it was a normal trip. Sun, beaches, good food, and a smooth flight home. Instead, we walked into the airport and we found out that the airspace had been shut down due to the regional security situation.
We were literally stuck in the airport. When we found out about the airspace being closed down, we didn't know anything, so it definitely was lots of uncertainty. And then we heard, we checked some of the comunicados and it said that the airport was going to be closed for at least 24 hours. So the best thing about the whole situation for us is that the airport closed at 1 a.m.
How did you find out that the airspace had been shut down?
Breaking news. I think it was on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was breaking news on YouTube and we found out, but they didn't give you a lot of information. It pretty much just said that the airport is closed down, the United States attacked Venezuela, and there would be no flights in or out of Puerto Rico. And we also found out later it was like Virgin Islands as well.
Yeah. And for me, how I found out, I had gotten up early and I was, like you say, on Facebook, on social media, and I kept seeing these posts about the airport. But you know, with AI these days, you can't really tell if it's true or not. But then all of a sudden, because I'm a drone pilot, I got a FAA notice that it's called a Notum to Airman. So I opened it up, and lo and behold, it had everything that the airport had been shut down, or the airspace had been shut down, and how long it was supposed to be in place. So then I went in there and woke up Selena, and she's like, "What was your words to me?"
I don't know, but they were probably very nerve-wracking, surprising. I am still working, so I am not retired. I have decided several times this year not to even go to Puerto Rico because of issues with airplanes, airlines, government shutting down. I didn't want to get stuck. So it seemed like the perfect opportunity now that the government's back open, it's the holidays, flights are coming in and out. It was like the perfect opportunity to go ahead and fly out.
So we did fly out. We flew out the day after the cruise. So it was like the 28th of December. And we flew out, had a smooth flight, landed, got to the house, took care of some things that we had to take care of, went to the beaches. And what's some of the other stuff we did before we got shut down?
We went shopping, we went to the beaches, we went to our favorite restaurants. We were looking for something to do for New Year's, so we went to La Concha Hotel and kind of brought in the New Year there. So we were pretty much just chilling and enjoying the rest of our vacation.
Yeah. Especially with the most of the nation being in freezing temperatures. So we thought it was the prime time to go and just kind of let our hair down and just baste in the sun. What's some other things you want to talk about this that airspace shutdown?
So on the airspace shut down like 1 a.m. and we had to do a lot of research, a lot of translating to try to figure out what time the airport was going to open. And we realized that the airport or the airspace closed down at 1 a.m. So our flight was at 3 a.m. So of course we were praying because we did not necessarily want to be stuck on the island. And we have homes there, so we're not, it's not like it's a bad thing or whatever, but when you have to work, it does turn into a bad thing. So the airport closed down at 1 a.m. and our flight was 24 hours later at 3 a.m. And so we booked our Uber. We're going to go head on out to the airport, and we started getting delays. We received several delays, so we had to change our Uber several times.
So unlike other travelers who were stuck with hotels scrambling for rooms, we own a house here in Puerto Rico. Instead of being trapped in the airport chaos, we had the option to leave, regroup, and wait to see what was going to happen, because this all happened in the morning and we had 24 hours to do some things and not really have to worry about what was going on, even though in the back of our mind it was kind of in a chaotic type of state. I know my mind was.
It was a lot for me because I did have to go back to work. So it was just a lot going on mentally, and a lot of stress because of the uncertainty. If they closed, they said initially 24 hours, but not necessarily, it could have been more than 24 hours.
So while the airspace was still shut down, we found ourselves doing things around the house that was kind of unexpected. We had to do some cleaning and get ourselves ready or not get ourselves ready. So it was kind of in a limbo stage for us. That's the downfall to owning the home. You have to get it ready for your departure. Whereas if you're in the hotel room, all you have to really do is pick your bags up and either go to the airport or just go back and forth, where we had to pretty much what we call close the house down. So we elected to go ahead and get the house ready just in case. And after that, we did some beach hopping because we was actually trying to take our mind off of it. We went to eat some more of our local cuisine. And yeah, so we just did those type of things. So after doing all those things, on the island that we, hadn't had a chance to do, we went on and did those. And we don't really do a lot of gift shopping, but we went down to some of our favorite areas like we had told you about. And we actually in our mind started getting ready to leave. After cleaning up the house and rescheduling the Uber for the time that, we knew that our flight was, we packed our backpacks up to leave because that's what we had traveled with. The Uber comes at about 1:30. So we figured the normal 2 hours, we better add a few more minutes just because of the chaos that was going on. So we hopped in the Uber. The Uber took us to the airport. Oh, something strange did happen though. I have this flight tracker, and it actually showed that our flight was on time and it was not delayed, or that it wasn't canceled. So that's why we decided to go to the airport. And
we called Frontier. We called the airline to verify that our flight wasn't canceled, and they ensured us that it wasn't canceled, and to also make sure we had the app because everything would be updated on the app or by text, and it was.
Yes, it was. And then something good happened. Just before we got into the Uber, we heard an airplane fly overhead. So we knew at some point the airspace had opened up within that 24-hour period, like they said. And on that tracker, it was actually a FedEx plane, but the plane that we were supposed to get on was about 20 minutes behind it. So we had hope. And we got to the airport.
Oh, a funny story about what happened on the way to the airport was our Uber driver was doing about 10 under the speed limit. And all the way there, she was complaining about why people were speeding past her, getting over and everything. And when I looked at the speedometer, she was doing 45 and 55. And she was happy and talking and everything.
No lie.
But it wasn't a big deal to us because we knew that once we got to the airport, we were going to have to wait anyway.
Yeah. So we go through security and everything just seemed kind of normal. It wasn't a whole lot of people there like we thought. So we go to our gate and we just waited. And just so happened we was flying on the big Frontier airline.
Yeah, it took us about 5 minutes to get from the Uber through USDA and TSA. And because there were not a lot of people in the airport at all. And we also have TSA pre-check. So when we walked up, we were the only ones in line. And there was only one TSA agent that was actually checking everybody. So he said, come on over. And we just walked straight on through.
And I think it's because when I say all, I mean all of the other airlines cancel all of their flights.
Right.
Frontier didn't cancel theirs at all. I think it's because they only fly in there certain days of the week.
Right.
And when they got the note on the airman and they knew that it was going to be 24 hours, they knew that they was going to be able to get those planes into Puerto Rico airspace at the proper time. So that's why that airport was like a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Only Frontier Airlines. They not paying me to say anything, but you know what? I'm never talking about them ever again. So yeah, I heard people talking behind me and beside me. You know, they wonder if the plane is gonna be there to take off. And I just in the back of my head saying, "Hey, our airplane is on the way."
Something else that was funny is that when the Frontier agent showed up, he said, okay, hold up everybody. We are just getting y'all off this island. I don't know anything about connecting flights. He said, you need to get off the island now. We're not coming back until Tuesday.
Because that's their normal schedule.
Right, so he said, we're going to get you off this island. And there was one flight to Orlando, which was our flight, and the flight before ours was to Miami. And he's like, look, it's easier to connect in Orlando than it is on this island. So no more questions about your connecting flight. Just get on this plane and get to Florida.
Yeah.
So it was hilarious because everybody wanted to know. And he's like, no. Let me just get you one place. Get you out of here.
Yeah. So, yeah, the airplane came. We boarded. We didn't have any issues. Everybody was really calm, for real.
It boarded expeditiously.
Oh, yes.
And I'll say that is because they started with pre-boarding, and like 1 second later, it was pre-boarding, groups 1, 2, and 3. And we were like, okay, what in the world is going on? And then by the time the group 3 lined up, it was groups 4 and 5. And we found out later that our flight crew was almost timed out. So they decided to get everybody on the plane and get out of there before they would have to request another crew. So that was another plus for Frontier.
Yep. That pilot said, let's go, sit your behinds down. Let's get off this ground, or you're going to spend some more time in Puerto Rico. And yeah, that's what happened. And we took off. And yeah, like my old coworker, my friend slash our family, our Puerto Rican family, they actually was flying another airline, and their airline rescheduled them for a whole week out. So 7 days later, they was actually able to catch their flight home. So you're talking about the disruption in work, the extra money that they had to spend, for meals that they hadn't planned on eating out. The plus for them is their families in Puerto Rico, so they had somewhere to stay, where we've heard tales of, not even tales, we actually know people who was looking for somewhere to stay because their children was over there for this extra week.
Right. I had a coworker whose daughter was over there in an Airbnb, and even though the whole issue with getting out of Puerto Rico, people were still coming into Puerto Rico. So it was just pretty much the people who were delayed on the 3rd. So she booked the Airbnb and someone else booked it after her, and she could not get out. But fortunately, she was traveling with a friend who was active duty. And because she was, they were active duty military, they were able to go to Fort Buchanan and get a room. And that actually helped them.
Yeah. But, it's a whole lot of people that wasn't that lucky and had to spend a lot of money. We did get some money back from our airline, even though our flight took off, and I'm not mad about that. So they made it right even when it wasn't wrong for us. And I can only imagine what these other airlines are doing. They may have refunded their flights back, but it doesn't add up to all of the different things that they had to spend their money on. So yeah, it was real chaotic. And I can imagine people still getting off that island. But yeah.
So things to remember: travel doesn't always go according to plan.
Sometimes world events ripple into your personal life in ways that you never expect. And sometimes the backup plans become the blessing. Getting stuck in Puerto Rico taught us something simple.
Flexibility matters.
Perspective matters. And when life forces you to slow down, sometimes the island of Puerto Rico gives you exactly what you didn't know you needed.
If you're ever stranded while traveling, or if you're thinking about owning property somewhere you love, this is one of the moments you never planned for.
But you're grateful
you were prepared.
Yeah. So tell us, have you been planning a trip to Puerto Rico in the near future? Or another Caribbean island? If so, drop it into the comments to let us know what your future travel plans are.
And remember, being stranded one day in paradise is better than being stranded one day at work.
This is true, but I don't know anything about the work. But anyway, I'm Pierre from the Howard's Adventures. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I'm Selena.
Until the next time, deuces.